Chapter 8.6 is the final chapter. You guys are probably jumping up and down. This is great. Finish the course. Last one. Last video you have to watch, which is excellent. All right, scale factors in 3D objects. So last one we deal with is, instead of dealing with area, now we're dealing with volume. Volume, we're still going to deal with surface area as well. So if I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the dimensions from 1.5 to 3. I know everything has been increased by a factor of 2. I got this cube over here and a cube here. So that means they are similar. These are similar objects. First of all, because I know that the dimensions have been increased by the same amount. I'm going to see by what factor will surface area increase. Well, if each dimension has been increased by a factor of 2, that means that my surface area, remember, will be that 2 squared, because area is squared. So it's been increased by a factor of 4. Second question, by what factor will volume increase? Well, let's just check this out. Here I have 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.5, which is a volume of 3.375. 3.375. And the other one is going to be basically just be 3 cubed, which is a volume of 27. Let's see what those volumes have been increased by. So 27 divided by 3.375 by a factor of 8. What do I notice about 8? How is it related to 2, which is my scale factor for each dimension? That's actually 2 cubed. 2 cubed is equal to 8. So notice that for volume, it's cubed, just like my cube. And for surface area, it's squared, right? Just like a square. So surface area is increased by a squared value. Volume is increased by a cubed value. Once you figure out what your scale factor is, you just either square it for area or cube it for volume. Now let's see how this works. Example 2. All right, we got 2 arcs here, big, huge arcs. So George's arc, this one up here with the G, has a capacity of 210,000 meters cubed. Nico, his arc over here, needs to build a bigger arc to hold more animals, of course. Based on the information above, what are the missing dimensions of Nico's arc? Well, here's Nico's arc and here's George's arc. Well, let's see here. Do I have any dimensions? Yeah, I do. I need to figure out what the volume is, though, and each other dimension. So let's look here. The 2 dimensions that I have that are the same is this 200 and the 500. So first of all, I got to figure out what the what's it been increased by. Oops. So I have 500 divided by 200 is 2.5. So my scale factor is 2.5. Is it a reduction or an enlargement? It's an enlargement. Are we checking to see if they're similar or not? Not really, because we're basically saying they are similar because we're going to increase everything by the same amount. So we're going to try to find all the missing measurements, right? It's been an enlargement by 2.5 is my scale factor. So to figure out what my height is going to be for y, I take 50, multiply it by my 2.5, which is my scale factor, and it's going to be 125 meters tall. That's huge. Next one, 25 to z. Z is going to be equal to 25 times 2.5, because that's my scale factor, which is 62.5 meters wide. Again, that's very large. And 500 meters long is half a kilometer. So it's going to hold a lot of animals. The volume. I know my scale factor is 2.5, but what does that mean about my volume? How does it increase? Is it multiplied by just 2.5? Nope. Is it multiplied by 2.5 squared? Nope, that's for area. For volume, it's 2.5 cubed. 2.5 cubed. So 2.5 cubed, right here, is 15.625. That means my volume will increase by that amount. So I multiply it by my 210,000. And I get a volume of 3,281,250. That's going to be hard for me to remember. So 3,281,250. 3,281,250. So 3,281,250 meters cubed. So it can hold a lot of animals. So be careful When you're using scale factors, remember that dimensions are just multiplied by that scale factor. Area is multiplied by the scale factor squared, and volume is multiplied by the scale factor cubed. So you should be able to find missing dimensions and missing values for volume and for area. That's the last chapter. Good luck.